Welcome back to Ritual Hobby and Art. It's time for another episode of Travel Magnets. So, I haven't done one for a while, and I've been on some trips. So, I'm going to share some of this. This is an ever-expanding collection, as you can imagine. So, we're going to go through some of these magnets from the last couple of years. First group, see Rock City. Rock City on Lookout Mountain in Georgia. Something to go see sometimes if you're in the Chattanooga area. We were in Chattanooga a year ago in 2024. We had been to see Rock City before and enjoyed it, and went again. Enjoyed it the second time as well. So we've got three. So we have three magnets here from Rock City. This is one of these bridges made of stone or whatever. Birdhouse. The birdhouse, or the barn. There's a lot of barns in, I guess, the eastern U.S., eastern southern U.S., that feature See Rock City on the side of the barn. And so that's been like that for several decades, and people still celebrate that. And so this is a See Rock City, probably a birdhouse based on the barn, just like this one is a birdhouse based on the barn. You can buy birdhouses there in the gift shop. I think they're like $100. I didn't buy one. But it's since 1932, so it's been around a long time. There are a lot of things to see at Rock City. I did a short on it last year that shows kind of what you could see there. But as you can see from these photos, some beautiful paths. It's not really a garden type place. It's more of it's just a scenic overlook. You can see 7 states. You can see these kind of creepy sort of Mother Goose fairy tales that were recreated in a cavern. You make up your own mind on those. Some people love them. And, of course, other things, waterfalls. It's just a great place to see any time of year. Sticking with the Chattanooga theme, here's the Chattanooga Choo Choo. I actually got this, about that time, maybe even earlier. Let's see, we also have, with Choo Choos, we have the Tennessee Valley Railroad, which I did a video of that last year as well. That was really a nice place to visit. They have trains you can ride. It was well worth it. And, good static displays as well. And then we have this guy. Chattanooga, Tennessee, features, a railroad, bridge, water, cannons. There is a historic, Civil War historic park there in Chattanooga, but I've never been to it. I think I drove through it one time, but I'm not as into the Civil War as some people are, so I don't really go there. The Tennessee Aquarium, of course, is there, and I have been there many times. We've been there. That was our third visit when we went this last time. Of course, Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which is located right near where we are. I think we got this last year, or maybe probably last year, because that's the last time we were in Gatlinburg. I'm going to switch gears real quick and look at some lighthouses from the East Coast I went to a long time ago. All right, starting out with Cape Henry lighthouses. There are 2 of them. This is in Virginia Beach, Virginia, at Fort Story. You have an old one and a new one. When we went there years ago, we had to go through a checkpoint because this was a U.S. Army base. It was used for something, and so we had to go through security. We had to go through a security check before we could get on to go see the lighthouses. You can go into this one. This one is completely off limits at the time that we went, which would have been around, I don't know, in the early 2000s. Maybe different now. And then we have the lighthouses along the North Carolina Outer Banks. So we have Currituck Currituck Beach Light. Been to this one twice, but went up in, I think I got the magnet. Well, the magnet would have been the second time, because I went up in it for the second time. First time we just walked around the grounds. I believe this is pronounced Bodie Island. Certainly looks like Bodie Island, but I remember when I lived in North Carolina, they pronounced it Bodie Island. So Bodie Island Lighthouse, and a beautiful lighthouse there. And so I can't remember if I feel like I went up in this one. No, this was closed. I've been there twice, and I believe this one was not open at all. Cape Hatteras, another beautiful lighthouse, the tallest on the East Coast. And I believe when I went there, I didn't go up in that one. I've been up in a lot of lighthouses, and I think Bodie and Cape Hatteras are the two that I have not, and most others I have. Before we leave Virginia, this is the historic houses of Virginia Beach. We have the Lynnhaven House, the Thorogood House, and Francis Land House. I went to these also in the early 2000s, probably the same day I went to those lighthouses, I would guess. And so I remember going through the Francis Land House and the Lynnhaven House. The Thorogood House was not open to the public when I went through there. And I think I went through these things because I was looking at a job there at the time. I think that's the only reason I would have gone there. But anyway, and this is when I was working at Colonial Williamsburg, and I've shown some of those magnets previously, and I think I have a few more I'll show in a future episode. That brings us up to this year. Places I've been in 2025. Tuckaleechee Caverns in Townsend, Tennessee. It's a big cavern. Really cool stuff to see in there, down there by the Great Smoky Mountains, just south of Knoxville. Well worth it to go down and pay some money and go in and see some big caverns. This is the largest room in the caverns, and this magnet does not, the picture in this magnet does not do it credit. But it is a well worth place to visit, and we enjoyed it. We've been to several caverns now, and we'll probably continue doing so as we live in the sort of the Appalachian area. I went to the Iowa State Fair in Des Moines, Iowa. One of the largest state fairs in the country. Well worth a visit if you're around. They're known for the butter cow and other butter sculptures. There are, of course, livestock contests for woodworking, metalworking, tractor shows. I have another video I'm doing on a pack of cards, and it shows some of the tractors I saw at the fair. They just got a lot going on. Here's the brochure, Fair Sweet Fair, August 13th. Boy, so they made one every single day. It was Solar Day the day I went. But yeah, it was a great fair to go to, well worth the visit. And we've been before. We went in 2008, and so we went again this time. Here's a state magnet for Iowa. This actually belongs to my wife. She got it several years ago. We also went to Missouri, got this magnet. And we did go to Hannibal. We've been to St. Louis a couple years ago. I'd shown magnets from there previously. We, this time, we went to Kansas City. We also went in search of the Ozarks and stopped in Springfield. While we were in Kansas City, we went to the National Museum of Toys and Miniatures. This was really impressive to me. It's not about dollhouses all the time. It's really about miniatures that are tiny representations of decorative arts that involve techniques that are just, wow, how did they do that? Doing inlay, doing marquetry, packetry, doing all kinds of really fancy things on these at very small scale. Of course, they had things like an entire painting on the pinhead, the Bible, like the Ten Commandments on just really tiny stuff. They had microscopes set up for you to see this. So, and of course, there were toys. There was a Star Wars exhibit of toys that I remember from the 1980s that Kenner made, and other companies as well. It was really, and I recognized toys that I had as well as toys that others had as well. So it was really worth seeing the National Museum of Toys and Miniatures if you're in the Kansas City area. And here's a couple here's a state Kansas magnet that I got. I didn't get very far into Kansas. We were in Kansas City, and I crossed the border into Kansas just to say I'd been there. Ate lunch at a place in Kansas in the state, and supper as well. So I just spent a day just over the border in Kansas City. I'll need to go back sometime and see the rest of the state. And then here's the magnet for Kansas City itself. Kansas City, Missouri features, we did go to the Union Station. To Union Station, we did not make it to the World War I museum. We'll have to do that on a separate visit. And I believe this is a performing arts center. We didn't make it over there too. We pretty much stayed in the Hallmark, Crown Center area, and Union Station area. It was a hot day. There was a heat advisory. We were not going to be walking around all around town that day. So the nice thing about the Crown Center area is it's all interconnected with walkways. So there's a mall, there's restaurants, there's an aquarium, different attractions there, and of course you can get over to the Union Station without ever touching a sidewalk. Just staying on the link or the different walkways between the buildings. Now we did go outside. We wanted to see the fountains. We wanted to see some of the other features in that area, but to make it to Union Station, we just stayed on the link. So Kansas City was a well worth place to visit, and we'll certainly go back some other time. But those are the magnets that I have in my collection that I've added to since the last video I produced. So we'll look forward to other magnets in the future. And until then, thanks for watching.